Hello and welcome to my very first cocktail video upload of 2024. I've got 7 St-Germain cocktail videos in store for you today. I'm not going to be including the Hugo Spritz, the Irish Maid, or the Artichoke Hold, so you're going to have to hang around to find out what cocktails made the cut. And the video is not sponsored by St-Germain. I just wanted to do it because that's what you guys requested. So let's get straight into the drinks. So the first drink I have for you is the Maximilian's Affair. Now this one was made by Misty Calcoven, I think, from Green Street in Boston. Green Street in Boston. Sorry, I need to get back in the swing of cocktail videos. Memory's not great right now. But Misty was one of the bartenders, one of the first bartenders that really started to embrace using mezcal. So prior to 2008, not many people were using mezcal in cocktails. So she was one of the people that forefronted that. And this cocktail is probably the one that intrigued me the most out of the 7 cocktails that I'll be showing you today. So let me find my jigger and then we can get started. St-Germain, elderflower liqueur, 1 ounce, 30 ml, and exactly the same with the mezcal. I'm using Del Maguey Vita. Oh, nice smoky notes on the nose. 1 ounce, 30 ml. Then we've got Punta Mess, which I haven't actually used for a while. Punta Mess meaning 1.5, so 1.5 of bitterness. It's a bit of a vermouth. I don't think it's officially classed as a sweet vermouth because it's a little bit different, a little bit more bitterness to it. And we have half an ounce, 15 ml, and lemon juice, but only a little bit, 7.5 ml, quarter ounce. And this will be my first time shaking a cocktail in 3-4 months, quite some time. Quarter ounce, 7.5 ml, ice into the shaker, shake for 10 to 12 seconds. Just easing into it. And of course that's double strained into a chilled coupe glass. Not the prettiest looking drink. Oh, it's not too bad. It's not as brown as I first thought it would be. And for garnish, a lemon twist. These are little baby lemons. I was going to attempt to do something fancy, but no. Lemon twist, nice and simple, dropped in the glass. There you have the Maximilian Affair. Oh, nice smoky, little bit bitter, but not overly bitter. Just the right amount of citrus. I mean, you've got the sugar content from the St-Germain, so that quarter ounce, 7.5 ml, just balances it out nicely. What a cracking start. On to number 2, we have the Glasgow Mule. Glasgow's in the name, Glasgow's in Scotland, so you can pretty safely assume this is going to include a Scotch whiskey. So in particular, I'm using Monkey Shoulder, which is a blended Scotch. And you've got a couple of choices here. You can either serve it up in a highball glass or a Collins glass, a mule mug. It's completely up to you. I'm going to do it in a highball glass. I'm going to do it on crushed ice, but if you want, you can do it on normal ice. I'm just chilling the glass with cubed ice to start with, and then I'll transfer the ice. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Nice and simple riff on a mule, changing out the vodka. So it's still going on that same basis of spirit bitters and citrus, but just subbing in whiskey, Scotch whiskey, as well as the elderflower. So 1.5 ounces, 45 ml blended whiskey. Then we have half an ounce, 15 ml of elderflower liqueur, St-Germain, just a single dash of Angostura bitters, and some lemon juice. 3/4 ounce, 22.5 ml. Add ice and give it a shake, only a brief shake. Reason being is because I'm going to put it on crushed ice. So I just want to combine the ingredients, chill it, dilute it a little bit. I don't want to over dilute it because then it's crushed ice and it'll end up being watery. A little bit of ice and shake. Four ounces, 120 ml of ginger beer. This one's Fever Tree. Nice and spicy. I might underpour it a little bit and then I can add the ice. I can always add ginger beer at the end, but I can't take it out once it's in the glass. The reason I've done it in this order is just because I wanted to combine the ginger beer with the other ingredients as opposed to straining, add ice, then ginger beer on top, and it's kind of got a layer a little bit. Perfect. Now for garnish. If you have candied ginger on hand, feel free to use it. I am just going to add a wheel because I'm a simple man and I'm a simple garnisher. And of course it's going into hyperglass with pebble ice, so you probably want to use a metal straw. Or any straw for that matter, but probably want to use a straw. There you have the Glasgow Mule. Whoa. It's a little bit tart. There, I might consider dropping that lemon juice just a little bit. Then you've got the bitters and the smokiness, like real subtle smoke from the whiskey, but more so the spice that comes through from the ginger beer. This is delightful. And now we have the sunflower cocktail, which is another Sam Ross cocktail. All of his drinks are fantastic, but really this is just a Corpus Reviva number 2, but you've got the sub of St-Germain liqueur. I believe he created this around 2008 at Milk and Honey, and this is probably one of my favorite St-Germain cocktails. So let's get straight into it. Equal measures. So it's super simple. And of course, make sure you use your absolute favorite gin, 3-fold distilling, aromatic gin. 3/4 ounce, 22.5 ml for each ingredient. Before I go on, if you do want any of these recipes, I've compiled them into an ebook. So link is in the description if you want to grab that. And people are going to keep asking me about 3-fold when it's going to be available in other countries, especially in the States. Lots of people keep asking me. I've had a few chats with people, a few companies, but if there's any importers, distributors in any country around the world and you're keen to have some samples, feel free to get in touch. We'd love to start exporting our gins. Yeah, we do have some. We're sending some more stock shortly over to Hong Kong. So, St-Germain, then we've got the Cointreau, orange liqueur. You can use a different orange liqueur if you like. Fourth ingredient is lemon juice. Before I do, I'm going to cut off a small coin, a very small coin, of lemon peel so I can use that. Equal parts. Nice and simple. So if you want to scale it, go for your life. Nice and easy. I absolutely love these Nick and Nora glasses. These are by Riedel. And it also has an absinthe rinse. I'm not going to dump the absinthe. I'm just going to do a small dash, roll it around and keep it in there. But of course, if you want to, you can toss it, but that's wasteful. Then you want to double strain. Get rid of all those little fine ice shards and pulp and press the oils over the top, drop it in, and there you have complete blank. And there you have the sunflower. How did I forget that? That's I'm pretty sure this is like my favorite one on the list. Well, going to be. Some of these I haven't tried. So anyhow, the sunflower. Beautiful. When I think of St-Germain, I just think of gin. Gin and St-Germain just pair perfectly. I'm actually glad I kept that extra little bit of absinthe in there rather than just ditching it. Like, I mean, it would only make a minute difference, but I typically don't like aniseed. But that note just comes through. It's very subtle. Underlying anise note works really well. Yeah, citrusy, balance, beautiful. If you only try one cocktail out of this list, I haven't tried the others yet, so I can't really say this, but it's a bit too soon. But if you try one, make sure you try the sunflower. Now we have the Goto by Rob Kruger. He was at the time at Extra Fancy in Brooklyn, New York. So it calls for a few slices of cucumber. Excuse the rustic cucumber. It was picked from my garden earlier on, and it's not the prettiest, but tastes really good. So it calls for a few slices. I used 3 slices, thick slices of cucumber. If you want it really heavy on cucumber flavour, feel free to muddle it if you like. I'm just going to add the cucumber in, add some mint, so 8 leaves, and then shake it, and it should impart. Cucumbers are soft vegetables, so therefore it will impart that flavour quite easily. But if you want to, go for gold, give it a muddle. Mint, cucumber, and then we have 2 ounces, 60 ml of your favourite aromatic gin. If anyone's in Australia, I'll leave a link to our gin in the description below so you can check it out. If you haven't tried it, please do. Then we have half an ounce, 15 ml of elderflower liqueur. And this time, we're using lime juice to pair in the drink. 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 ml. Plenty of ice and shake. Again, I'm not going to shake too hard. I'm going to keep it relatively brief because this is going to have ginger beer added to it and it's going to be served over ice. I'm double straining to get rid of all the little mint pieces. But if you want it rustic, strain it straight in the glass. Completely up to you. And then top it with ginger beer. Using the cutest little bar spoon, just ever so gently give it a little stir. Add a stainless steel straw, and for garnish, slice a little bit of cucumber, or we could just poke a hole with something else other than a knife, but mint sprig. Don't know if it's the prettiest garnish, but mint sprig, throw a piece of cucumber. Actually, that looks all right. I'm happy with that. That's fine. There's the Goto. Cheers. Spicy ginger beer, gin and elderflower, like, you can't go wrong. Really refreshing. You've got those cooling properties from the cucumber, so that pairs really nicely with the ginger beer. Another great St-Germain drink. So cocktail number 5 is by Alex Day. This one is called the Rib Tickler, and it was created to be a bubblier version of the white Negroni, hence why it's got Suze in there. Suze is a gentian liqueur, so it's like, it's herbal, but no, I'd say more so woody and earthy and herbal. Again, this is kind of like a spritz, but without like Prosecco or like sparkling wine. It's with soda water, but if you want to, you can serve it in a stemless wine glass, big wine glass, what have you, and you can just pour it straight in the glass, but I'm gonna combine the ingredients all together, put it in a shaker, brief shake, into the glass. Simple. Let's get on with it. So it's a relatively low ABV drink, this one actually, so it's quite sessionable. 2 ounces, 60 ml of dry vermouth. He specifically calls for Dolan, French vermouth, French dry vermouth. And then 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 ml of Suze. It's a really bright yellow color. Followed by St-Germain, half an ounce, 15 ml. Never would think to put St-Germain with Suze, so I'm interested to try this. Then we have half an ounce, 15 ml of fresh lemon juice, straight into the tin. Just made it. And simple syrup, 1:1 simple syrup, 1/4 ounce, 7.5 ml. So you get some of the sweetness from St-Germain, some from the simple, to balance out that citrus. I'm gonna get my garnish ready before I shake the drink. Grapefruit wedge is what it calls for, but if you like, of course, go for another piece of citrus. I mean, you've already got a lemon, so you can use lemon. All right, ice and briefly shake. Now, the recipe does say soda water to top, but I'm definitely not going to add that much soda water. I'll add 1 ounce, 30 ml, a spritz worth, I think. Oh, people are going to complain about me ruining the carbonation of this, but just drink your drinks faster. No, drink responsibly. So there you have your ruby red grapefruit slice in there. I do like the contrast of that color, like the really bright, intense pink color with that Suze yellow. There you have the rib tickler. Cheers. Ooh. For a low ABV sipper, this is really delightful. I like it. And the Suze has been tamed down. You get the notes of it without being overwhelming, because it can be quite overwhelming. And coming from a white Negroni inspired drink, this is more of a sessionable version of it. Yum. Okay, now we're going to make the Old Friend, which is a distant, very, very distant cousin of the Old Pal. So this was created by Jim Meehan, or Jim Meehan, however he likes to pronounce his name. I apologize. I get mispronounced things all the time. Yes, I know there's more efficient ways to squeeze your juice, but it was already cut into wedges, so I'm just going to leave it like this. That's not going to work. It was created for the Chef's Club in Aspen, Colorado by Jim Meehan. So I think he did a lot of menu consulting for other bars. So yeah, use a juicer. Way more efficient ways squeezing in juice, but I only need a little bit. So this recipe calls for, whilst it's here, I'll pour out of order and pour my grapefruit juice. So 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 ml. He says you can either use white or ruby red, just might have to tweak the balance a little bit. So make it, try it, see what you think. Then we have Beefeater Gin. He specifically called for that. I don't have my threefold London Dry gin lying around. I've done enough self-promo today already, so I'll go with the Beefeater. 1.5 ounces, 45 ml. I don't know if you can really call this a St-Germain cocktail, because it doesn't really have a lot in there. It's only like this tiny little accent, but it's a riff on an Old Pal, kind of. So therefore, you know, I thought I'd try it. 15 ml, half an ounce of everyone's favorite bitter red liqueur, Campari, and then only 1/4 ounce, 7.5 ml of St-Germain elderflower liqueur. Simple as that. Ice in the tin, give it a shake. And I've got a coupe glass set aside, ice ready to go. Oh, nice. Double strained into that chilled glass. In it goes. Oh, that's a nice shade of pink. Cute. And I've got a little bit of a lemon coin ready to go. Over the top, dropped in the drink. And there you have The Old Friend by Jim Meehan. Meehan. Not bad. It's not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite. It's bitter. It's got a long finish on the palate. Elderflower is too hidden for me. It's okay. It's okay. Now it's time for the Easy Street by Anthony Schmidt. It was created around 2010 whilst he was tending bar at the Noble Experiment in San Diego. San Diegians, is that correct? Is that where it is? I don't know if, I'm sure you don't call yourself San Diegians, but this one is essentially an elderflower Collins with cucumber. So let's get straight into it. Nice and simple. As I said before, I've got some cucumber from the garden. It's not the prettiest, so I'm going to use the ugliest pieces for in the drink. Still tastes good. And then I'll do a couple of slices from my nicer piece for the garnish. So I'll put that aside for later. And I will, so half an ounce, 15 ml of simple syrup. Add that in, just so I've got a little bit of liquid in there and I can give it a muddle. or you could muddle without. Completely up to you. Doesn't need to be too harsh of a muddle. Then we have 1.5 ounces, 45 ml of gin. Half an ounce, 15 ml. Just a nice little accent of elderflower to this Collins. So elderflower and cucumber, ooh, lovely. Then we have lemon juice, freshly pressed, 3/4 of an ounce. That was close. 3/4 of an ounce, 22.5 ml of lemon juice. Give it a shake, then we're gonna add some soda. Brief shake. Fairly sure you'll want to double strain this one with all those little cucumber pieces. Just be a little bit nicer for the presentation. Soda water to the top. And again, ever so gentle with the stir. Straw. And I'm just going to gently lay 2 cucumber slices on the top. Simple. They have the easy street. Just as it reads on paper, it's a Collins, it's citrusy, it's refreshing, absolutely delicious gin cocktail, but then you've got just a little tiny hint, it's a very small hint of cucumber. So maybe muddle it a little bit more if you like to, maybe give it a harder shake. And then you've got that like tartness, that nice floral note from the elderflower liqueur from St-Germain. Delicious cocktail to finish on. Make sure you tune in next Wednesday. And if you do want all the recipes from today, you can download the ebook in the description below. See you soon.